G'day everyone, Jason with the Trackman Guy from Thornley Golf Centre here with some driving tips today for you. Now, what's the keys to successful driving? It's certainly one of the most asked questions we have here as a team. Well, firstly, get yourself a decent driver, something modern like a TaylorMade M5. Adjustable on the neck, so if you buy a 10.5 degree head, you can change that up or down 2 degrees, making that driver play anywhere between 8.5 and 12.5 degrees. Also along the bottom here, some adjustability to help you control the spin and also control the shape the ball's going to want to fly. So this track on the back here you have a little bit more fade bias if you put the weight up the back here. You can have more draw bias if you put it on the other side, or just more center bias, so more forgiveness if you go back center. If you need a little bit of help keeping the backspin down like I do, then you can slide both those weights all the way up the front, and that's going to reduce your spin rate by about 500 revolutions a minute. It'll just give you a little bit less forgiveness, but a little bit more distance on the good ones. But the club at the end of the day is just a tool. It's just like giving a fantastic piano or a guitar to somebody who can't play any instrument at all. It's not going to sound very good in the wrong hands. A big part of hitting the ball well is teeing the ball up the correct height, and a lot of people ask us, what's the correct height to have the golf ball on the tee when we're teeing it up? Well, what you're going to try and look for is approximately half of the golf ball above the top line of the club face. That's going to hopefully give you a chance to catch that ball on the upswing as you come through, launching the ball nice and high, not getting too much spin. But a really big part that's often sort of represented or not even talked about really is whereabouts actually on the club face you hit the ball. Even these new drivers like the twist face technology TaylorMades, fantastic with the miss hits, but the very best ones still only come off the dead center of the club. And a lot of people make a mistake here and find themselves catching the ball quite a lot of time just here on the top of the face. So just catching the ball a little bit on the top. Let me get a ball off the ground and show you. So if you have a ball strike with that driver where the ball strike on the face is a bit here, you're often going to find that in the collision the ball's going to ride that top line and therefore go quite high and not go very far. And that's when lots of you make the wrong decision and sort of say, oh, I need a less lofted driver. I've got 10.5 degrees. I need something a little bit, to launch it down a little bit. But what you're going to find is if you start to make contact with the ball here in the center of the club face, 10.5 degrees is often not enough for most good players. Quite a few guys on tour are 10.5 or 11 degrees, but they're hitting it on the right part of the club face. And how do you get that? Well, obviously a lot of practice, but a lot of it's to do with how you set the ball up too. So let me show you how I'm going to set up if I'm going to hit a good driver. We're going to try and get the ball forwards towards that front heel. So in my case, the left heel for a right-hand player or the right heel for a left-hander. And then we're going to sort of tilt the body weight at the address position a little bit to the right of the ball and try and feel in that backswing that there's a little bit of movement to the right side to try and get the center of the body well behind the ball. If we can do that as we start the downswing by turning back towards the ball, by the time we come to impact, the head of the club should nicely be on upward arm. So an upward angle of attack, catching the ball fractionally upwards, 1, 2, 3 degrees would be ideal. But at the same time, the skill of it is meeting the top of that tee. So if you remember the tee we had a moment ago, I want you to feel like when you're coming through, the bottom of the driver is just clipping the top of the tee, maybe a centimetre at absolute most. Certainly don't feel like you're hitting halfway down the tee, or worse still, hitting the ground. The reason why we tee it up is to be able to pick that ball more cleanly off the top. It's a bit of a skill and it's worth some practice. Let me show you how it's done. And at the end of the day, never underestimate the power of balance. When you're watching somebody like Rory McIlroy, the best driver of a golf ball in the world, what you always see at the end of the swing, the TV finish. That's what my dad used to call it. He was a golf pro when I was growing up as a kid. Always get to the TV finish, son, and you'll hit plenty of good shots. Jason Wood from Thornley Golf Centre. Catch you again next time.